Hiya folks, how's it going? My name is Lexi and I really love tabletop role-playing. So much so that we sit down together once a week, every week, and we review one here at the gaming table. I try to keep these videos on the short side, under 10 minutes, so we can both find our next games quickly. If that sounds interesting to you, I encourage you to press subscribe and keep watching today's video. If you would like to go the extra special mile, you can donate to the channel using the link in my description box to my Ko-Fi page. All of those donations go straight back to the channel, so I put a little thank you at the end of each of my videos, just to acknowledge everyone who's donated in the previous month. Please don't feel obliged to donate though. I really just appreciate having everyone's company and thoughts on games. Today we are reviewing a game I picked up because I was really intrigued by the concept. From Horrible Guild, this is Wilderfeast. This game is set on a large continent called the One Land. It's a supercontinent with a frozen pole at the center and lots of different biomes spreading out from that. It's got pretty much any environment you could imagine there. There are stern rulers, different groups, and monsters who could sometimes be affected by a curse, which leaves them frenzied and dangerous. The player characters in this game are called Wilder Eaters, or Wilders. These are humans, people, who consume monsters. These people eat monsters, and the consumption of monster parts can change a person. The culture around hunting isn't really hunting for profit, it's more as a way to feed oneself and a cultural practice. Sometimes characters might sell or trade parts of the monsters that they've killed and eaten if they're not parts they're going to use themselves. I'm only providing a very brief overview of the setting in this game. There's a lot more details that can be found about the One Land in the 8th chapter of this book. That chapter covers different cultural groups and practices in the world. The chapter starts with some mythology to speculate about the history of the world. Then there's also different cultural groups and their practices, which you can read about and explore further. There's mythology in this chapter, which covers some of the major events that shape the world, including some pretty catastrophic events. Then there's a breakdown of some different geographical regions and different cultural groups and their practices that live there. One of the sections that I feel is probably the most important for a game is understanding the philosophy of wilders. There is one basic rule if you are a wilder. You are what you eat. Consuming monster parts can give your characters changes to their appearance or abilities. To play this game, you will need some D6s, D8s, and D20s. When encountering an obstacle, the player needs to describe how their character is going to approach the scenario. The player does this by selecting a style and skill. The style is kind of, I suppose, the attitude or the way that the character is going to approach the problem, and the skill is the tools or their skills that they are actually going to use. The more points you have in style, the more d6s you can roll in your pool of dice. Then you need to select your action die. You can select to add a d8. This represents a cautious human way of problem solving. Or you can take out one of your d6s and put in a d20. The d20 represents your monstrous side, your instinct. You can't always choose the d20. There are certain conditions that have to be met to use that d20. Basically, it needs to be relevant to the scenario and your character. You roll the pool of dice. Then, depending on the score you have in the relevant skill, you might be able to upgrade a number of those dice by result of 1 to get a better result. Then you need to count how many results you got that were over a 5. A 5 is a success. Then you need to count all the dice that got a 5 or above. This is a success in the game. The more successes, the better you did. The combat in this game kind of surprised me with its depth and dynamism. From the concept of this game, I thought this was going to be a rules light game, But there's actually a little bit more to the combat system than I initially thought. You might use mechanics like distance to your character's advantage when hunting down a monster. This is pretty important because the monsters in the game tend to be bigger and stronger than you. It's kind of a high risk, high reward. So hopefully your characters are going to be smart when they're in combat. The character creation process, though, doesn't allow you to min-max a character, so when I say being smart in combat, I think it's more about your characters being creative with their resources and what they can do. I think the most unique thing to me about the game is the option to use either a D8 or to substitute one of the D6s for a D20, depending on what side of your character is being used to overcome a problem. The D8 is safer, but you could get some really high numbers with the D20. The visuals of this manual are beautiful. The writing and the illustrations, I can see there's been a blend of so many different cultural references put into this game, and it makes it unique and interesting to read. I really love some of the depictions of the foods that are eaten in the One Land, particularly the hypothetical recipes that the game manual provides you. The bestiary at the end of the game manual is also a ton of fun to look through. I was particularly a fan of the Jamma Jamma. There's lots of creatures I enjoyed though. I kind of wish I had more of them. I really loved some of the tools and equipment and the monsters. I guess the toys that the game provides are so good that I want more. If you are down for a bit of quirky fantasy, then I think this is going to be a great game to pick up. The blend of different inspirations really gives this game its own unique little twist. I suppose if the idea of a quirky setting doesn't appeal to you, then it's not a game for you, which totally understandable. Such a unique flavor with characters wielding giant mitts and saucepans rather than weapons necessarily. This game manual retails for just around $55 US. I paid over $100 Australian, which is equivalent for the exchange rate. I think considering the quality of the manual and how gorgeous the visuals are, I can totally understand why it has that price. If you're not sure if the game's going to be for you, perhaps it might be worthwhile checking out the PDF of the quick start rules to see if it would be something your group would be keen to play before you purchase the whole book. So that is Wilderfeast. What did you think? Do you like games with a quirky twist? Let me know in the comments section down below. While you are there, I encourage you to like this video, and if you feel inclined, share it with a friend who you think might like to know more about Wilderfeast. If you want to keep up with the channel, you can subscribe and turn on notifications. That way YouTube is supposed to tell you when I've next uploaded. If you'd like to do something special for the channel and really help us out, there is a link in the description box to my Ko-Fi page where you can donate to the channel, and every single donation goes straight back to the channel. I put a short little thank you at the end of my videos to thank the folks who've donated in the previous month, but please don't feel obliged to donate. I just appreciate having you all watch these videos of mine and talk about games. I want to thank you all again for watching and discussing Wilderfeast with me. I hope you're all well, and I look forward to seeing you next time at the gaming table. Bye!